I want to tell you about a conversation I had with one of my eighth graders. So she had submitted an essay. It was polished, grammatically clean, well organized. It covered the required content. She earned a high grade. I called her in and asked her to walk me through her argument. She could not do it. Not because she was being evasive. She genuinely did not know what her essay argued because she had not written it. She had submitted what an AI gave her after she typed a prompt. She was not a bad student. She was a student doing exactly what the environment had trained her to do: produce the output that gets the grade with a minimum cognitive cost. Now, here's the real question: was the problem that she used AI, or was the problem that we gave her an assessment that AI could complete instead of her? Welcome to Thinking to Think. I'm Mike Aponte, also known as M.A. Aponte. Today, we are talking about the AI literacy crisis, or should I say, illiteracy crisis. And it is much bigger and much more complicated than the conversation about cheating. Let's get into it. Before I continue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really supports the show. Now, the education establishment's response to artificial intelligence, with very few exceptions, has been a version of the same question: how do we stop students from using it? Plagiarism detection tools, AI content detector, assessments redesigned to be AI proof, proctored exams, essay prompts that require hyper specific personal experiences AI cannot fake. This is the wrong question. And the fact that we are asking it reveals exactly the problem I have been talking about for the last few years. We are trying to defend an assessment architecture designed for a world that no longer exists. The world our students are graduating into does not reward the ability to produce polished text without AI. It is it rewards the ability to think well enough to direct AI, evaluate AI output, identify where AI is wrong, and build on AI foundations to produce something genuinely valuable. The student who can prompt an AI effectively, integrate its reasoning, identify its errors, and synthesize its outputs into an original argument, that student is more capable than the student who can write without AI. The student who accepts AI output uncritically and submits it as their own work, that student is less capable, not because they used AI, but because they outsourced their thinking along their typing. The distinction is not human versus AI. And I want to make that clear. I use AI very frequently in my own work. I am building multiple software platforms for education with AI. The distinction is thinking versus not thinking. And we have built an education system that cannot tell the difference. I want to define AI literacy carefully because it is a term being used in too many ways right now, and making sure all are on the same page with me. AI literacy is not knowing how to use AI tools. That is AI fluency. Every kid can achieve that in an afternoon. And if they're a teenager, by now, they're already AI fluent. AI literacy is the ability to engage with AI as a thinking tool rather than a thinking replacement. It is a set of cognitive capacities, not a set of technical skills. And let me break what those capacities are. Capacity one, epistemic integration. Capacity one, eps- capacity one, epistemic integration. The ability to ask, how does the system know what it knows? What are the limits of its training? Where is it most likely to be wrong? AI systems are trained on historical data, which means they are systematically weaker in novel situations, in emerging fields, and in domains where the ground truth is contested. A student who does not know this will accept AI output exactly those areas where AI is least reliable. Capacity two, output verification. The ability to check AI claims against independent sources without being led by the AI's framing. This sounds obvious. It is not. Research on anchoring effects consistently shows that this first number or conclusion a person encounters shapes how they evaluate subsequent information. When AI provides a conclusion first and a justification second, human evaluators are systematically biased toward accepting the conclusion. Capacity three, synthesis and extension. The ability to take AI output as a starting point and push it further, combining it with a domain expertise, lived experiences, and original analysis to produce something that AI could not have generated alone. This is the capacity that makes AI amplify human intelligence rather than replace it. Without it, AI users produce better formatted versions of existing knowledge. With it, they produce new knowledge. Capacity four, ethical and social reasoning. The ability to evaluate the consequences of AI generated content and AI informed decisions on people and communities that the AI's training data did not adequately represent. AI systems embed the biases of their training data. A student who cannot reason about those biases will propagate them. A student who can reason about them can catch them and correct them. None of these four capacities is a technical skill. All of them are cognitive capacities, which means all of them can and must be taught, and which also means that the school system best positioned to develop them are the ones that have been developing critical thinking all along. And I want to be specific about the school context because I live in it every day. Middle school students are already using AI extensively, not just for homework, for social media captions, for texting strategies, for advice about relationships, for answering questions they would previously have asked a parent or a teacher that they're too embarrassed about. This is happening whether or not schools acknowledge it. The question is not whether to engage with it. The question is whether we engage thoughtfully or abdicate the responsibility. Here's what AI integration done right looks like at the classroom level. First, AI as a research starting point, not an answer source. Students use AI to generate an initial framework on a topic. They spend their intellectual energy interrogating the framework, finding what the AI missed, what is oversimplifying, what it reflected bias, how it how to build more accurate and nuanced account. The AI does the scaffolding. The student does the thinking. Second, AI as a debate partner. Students use AI to generate the strongest possible argument against their own position, then build a rebuttal. This genuine intellectual training, it forces students to understand the opposing view at its most compelling, which is the precondition for an honest argument. Most adults cannot do this. Our students should be able to. Third, AI as a first draft, human as the critical editor. Students use AI to generate a first draft of a written argument. Then their assignment is not to write the essay, but to identify every place the AI's argument is weak, incomplete, or wrong, and to fix it with the reasoning and evidence of their own. The final product is evaluated on the quality of the edits and reasoning behind them, not on the process. This requires teachers who understand AI well enough to evaluate these processes, which is a professional development problem that most school systems have not yet addressed. But that is a solvable one. The unseeable problem is building an entire generation of AI consumers who never become AI thinkers. And let me zoom out from the school context for a moment because this problem is not only a school problem. Every organization I work with as a decision advisor is now navigating some version of this question. How do we integrate AI into our operations without losing the judgment capacity that makes our people valuable? The answer is the same as the answer for the school. The goal is not AI proficiency, it is AI augmented thinking. The human brings the judgment, the values, the contextual understanding, and the ability to evaluate quality. The AI brings speed, breadth, and pattern recognition at scale. Organizations that get this right will dramatically outcompete organizations that get it wrong. And the difference will not be visible in their technology stack, it will be visible in the quality of their decisions. Leaders who will be most valuable in the AI economy are not the ones who can use AI tools. Those tools will be universally accessible within 3 years. The leaders who will be the most valuable are the ones who can think clearly enough to ask the right question, evaluate the answers honestly, and build on the output in ways that AI cannot. Those leaders are not being trained by the most corporate L&D programs right now. They are being trained or not trained in middle school, which is exactly why what we are doing in K through 12 education over the next 5 years is one of the highest stakes decisions the society will make. So let me close with something concrete. And this is for different groups. So please pay attention. If you are organizational leader, I promise you I will get to you. But first, for school administrators, stop asking how do we prevent AI use and start asking what does AI use well looks like in the classroom. Build that definition into your institutional frameworks. Train your teachers on it. Evaluate for it. You cannot build AI literacy by prohibition. You build it by teaching. For teachers, the most powerful thing you can do right now is redesign at least one major assignment to require students to demonstrate thinking that AI cannot replicate. Not AI proof assessments, thinking visible assessments. The goal is to make the reasoning visible, not to make the tool unavailable. For parents, asking your children not whether they use AI for their homework, but how they used it. What questions did they ask? What did the AI get wrong? What did they add that the AI could not have generated? Make the metacognitive process explicit. Train your child to be an AI director, not an AI consumer. And for the organizational leaders, your AI strategy is only as good as the judgment of the people operating it. Invest in the cognitive infrastructure of your team, the ability to ask better questions, evaluate output critically, and synthesize across sources before you invest in the tools. Tools are cheap and getting cheaper. Judgment is expensive and getting rarer. Guess which one will determine your competitive position in 5 years? The AI literacy crisis is not about students who use AI. It's about students and adults who use AI without thinking. The solution is not to ban the tool, it is to develop the judgment to use it well. That is an education problem. It is also a leadership problem. It is an organizational problem. And it is one of the most consequential decisions we will make as a society in the next decade. If this resonated, share it with a teacher, a school leader, a parent, or any leader thinking about AI in their organization. The full essay version is on my Substack at maaponte.substack.com. The link is in the description. For organizational leaders interested in AI augmented decision making as a direct advisory engagement, I do that work through Aponte Strategic Advisory. Again, link is in the description. Until next time, please think clearly, lead boldly, and stay logical. Thanks, guys, and have a wonderful day.